Hey, I got the first in a series of double IPAs coming from Stillwater. It's their Wavvy. I'm assuming it's pronounced Wavy, not Wavvy, with their cool cans. It's also the first NE IPA, cloudy IPA foray I think Stillwater has done. It's brewed by Two Roads in Stratford, Connecticut, like a lot of other Stillwater beers, and Two Roads also brews the extremely successful New England IPA, Sip of Sunshine, for Lawson's, and this one's been getting pretty good reviews, so I'm expecting kind of a better sort of hoppy experience than I normally get from the Stillwater beers. And the special thing about this one is that it's brewed with oats and lactose. I don't know if I've had any double IPAs brewed with lactose. I don't think I've had any of the double milkshakes that Tired Hands has done. Tired Hands and Omnipollo kind of did the first lactose infused IPAs. Lactose is just milk sugar. You buy it and it just looks like a white powder. And this is the first time I think Stillwater used it at all. And this is the batch 1 of Wavy, which uses Simcoe, Centennial, and Nelson hops, as you can sort of read on the bottom there. I can tell from the first few letters of the hops that's what it must be. This just came out. There's no date or best by date or anything on the can, which is a little bit disconcerting. You'd think they would have something on there, but this one has like less than 200 check-ins on tap, so I'm sure it's very fresh. And I think there are going to be some other cloudy IPAs coming out from Stillwater this summer, including one I think is called Cloudy. So maybe I'll do a review of this one, or of that one. Alright, so it's 8%, and I don't really know that much else about it. I feel like I'm smelling it already. And yeah, I feel like I already smell the lactose in there. Yeah, it's got this creamy, sweet tropical aroma coming off of it, and the head is pretty good. I feel like, yeah, it's pretty fizzy. I feel like the head's gonna die down pretty quickly on this beer. Whew. When I get my nose in there, now it smells pretty dank, but it's big on the Nelson dank green pepper, jalapeno-y, spicy smell. And maybe there's a touch of pine from the Centennial. I don't think I've really had many Nelson Centennial beers. And Simcoe brings in a little bit of that caddy berry sort of thing too. It smells really nice, and there's also it's just like a sort of creamy background, maybe sort of a dreamsicle, creamy tropical and creamy orange thing happening. It smells pretty nice. It's a little reminds me just a tad of Sip of Sunshine. I know I'm sure Sip of Sunshine doesn't use lactose nor New Zealand hops, but it seems like it's I can tell it's made in the same brewery. It doesn't seem like it's something that's way far off. And there's a very light, sappy hint of Centennial. I bet this beer in like a month will be a little bit too piney. But right now it's smelling like a nice mixture of dankness and like also slightly unripe tropical fruits. And then some creamy citrus. Yeah, the head's kind of died down there. It doesn't look too great, but doesn't look horrible. We have some lacing going on. Ooh, a little bit pinier and spicier in the flavor. It doesn't have a super full body. Ends with a kind of a savory note. And the lactose keeps it a little bit sweeter, but there's a little bit of an alcohol heat thing going on. Also, I'm noticing, but yeah, the lactose is lingering with a nice creamsicle thing, but it's a little bit odd amidst the like dry, woody, savory flavors and spiciness too. The flavors might be a little bit clashing, especially brought up by the ABV. 8% isn't super high for a double IPA, but I'm definitely still noticing it in this beer. It's adding a little bit of body, but it's not super cloudy. Like, you can see, I guess kind of see my finger through there, but these teku glasses are really wide. But you can tell it's not super turbid in there. It's pretty nice, but it has this kind of heat, spicy heat and bitterness and savory quality in the finish that I'm not a huge fan of. The lactose doesn't quite mitigate it. It just kind of is a separate note completely that is like, oh yeah, that's in there too. And it definitely adds a little bit of body to it, but it's not a full creamy body. It doesn't have, a lot of sediment or yeast and proteins in suspension that I think would give it a nice softer feel. And it lingers with, it's kind of a piney, boozy, spicy, savory thing that I'm not a huge fan of. It kind of attacks the fruitiness. It doesn't bring out the fruitiness I was hoping it would. Definitely an interesting beer, and I'll look forward to the next beers in this series. I bet they could improve on it. But this one, it's good. I think a lot of people like it, but I can't give it any more than an 80. And the burp is a little bit hot in the back of my throat. It doesn't burn like overly hazy IPAs might in the back of your throat. It's a different thing. It's like a West Coast, really bitter burn. I wonder what their bitterness hopping schedule for this was. If they did a lot of like hops in the kettle that did something a little bit weird to this one. I wish it were maybe a tad sweeter. I don't know. I'm not sure how I could what they need to do to improve on this one. The aroma is pretty cool. And the feel is okay. It's you can tell it's got some non-malt sweetness in there, giving it the body, but it's not like a milkshake, juicy or creamy IPA or anything like that. It really finishes with this textured quality. And I noticed that like that I've had in other lactose IPAs that they're bitter and that are somewhat bitter ones. There are some out there that are really not bitter, but this one's got this bitter chalkiness mixed with some texture from the lactose. It's just a little bit not my favorite. It dries out the tongue quite a bit. I almost feel like they thought, oh, we should make this more bitter because the lactose will add a whole bunch of sugar, so we need to balance that out. But I don't like how it's being balanced. It doesn't really work for me very much. I might even give this, I don't know, under an 80. Maybe I'll like it more as I drink it. I also didn't chill this one so much because I wanted to be able to get the aroma. It's probably only at about 45 degrees or something. It's worth trying. It's a cool beer, and I think they could probably improve on this recipe. With the next batches, maybe they'll use some different hops, and they'll hop them a little bit less in a bittering way, and it could be a better beer. It could be a really good one. So yeah, we'll just say flat 80. Good night.